For decades, Eddie Murphy has been one of the most electrifying entertainers in Hollywood, the man who could make anyone laugh, no matter the situation. From Beverly Hills Cop to Coming to America and the Nutty Professor, his charm, wit, and confidence made him unstoppable. But now, at 64, the story behind the laughter paints a far more heartbreaking picture of a man who gave everything to the world, only to realize how much it cost him in return. Long before the fame, Eddie Murphy grew up in the rough neighborhoods of Brooklyn, New York. His childhood was marked by hardship. His father, a police officer and amateur comedian, died when Eddie was only 8 years old, an event that would shape him forever. To survive the loneliness, young Eddie turned to comedy. He would mimic voices, tell jokes, and make everyone laugh just to fill the silence left behind by his father's absence. By the time he was a teenager, Eddie Murphy had already made a name for himself in comedy clubs across New York. His rise was meteoric. At just 19, he joined Saturday Night Live and completely transformed it. Audiences couldn't get enough of him, his energy, his confidence, his daring humor. Hollywood came calling fast, and soon Eddie was everywhere. But behind the spotlight, he was already burning out. "I went from being a kid in Brooklyn to being one of the biggest stars in the world," he once said. No one prepares you for what that does to your soul. In the 1980s and early 1990s, he seemed untouchable, hit after hit, millions in the bank, and fans around the globe. Yet fame brought isolation. People around him wanted something: money, attention, favors. The laughter that once felt pure began to feel like a performance he couldn't escape. "Everybody loves you when you're funny," he admitted years later. "But they don't always care when you're hurting." His personal life became the subject of endless headlines, failed relationships, controversies, and scandals that overshadowed his talent. "It's like living under a microscope," he said. "You can't make a mistake without the world judging you." Even as his career cooled in the 2000s, Eddie Murphy never stopped working. But the sparkle in his eyes, the fearless comedian who once ruled the stage, seemed to fade. He turned his focus to his family, quietly raising his 10 children and staying out of the limelight. "They saved me," he confessed in a rare interview. "They gave me something real again." Still, in his quieter years, Eddie began to reflect on the cost of his fame. He spoke openly about how loneliness and pressure nearly destroyed him at the height of his success. "People think laughter heals everything," he said. "But sometimes it hides the pain." Those close to him say he spends more time these days at home, surrounded by his kids and close friends, avoiding the chaos that once defined his life. But there's still a sadness in him, the kind that comes from knowing he gave the world his best years and got chaos in return. "I'm proud of what I did," he said softly once, "but I wish I'd slowed down enough to live it." At 64, Eddie Murphy remains a legend, a man whose comedy shaped generations. But his story is also a reminder that even the brightest stars can feel the darkness closing in. The fame, the fortune, the laughter, none of it can replace the simple peace he spent his whole life chasing. And as he looks back now, the smile that once lit up Hollywood carries something deeper, not just humor, but wisdom. "I'm still here," he said recently. "I've made mistakes, I've lost people, I've been broken. But I'm still laughing, and that's my way of surviving."